I have so much to talk about and show you. This video hopefully is not going to be really super long. Welcome to 5 Girls 5 Minutes. It's Monday and I am Sarah and I have to get started immediately. So, pet peeves. I'm kind of like Itzel. I have a pet peeve that is something that people say, not really so much something that people do, except saying something is doing something, but I hate it when people say that they could care less. Because if you could care less, then you obviously care a little bit about that thing. And I feel like I've said this a lot, but this is like, it really bothers me. It's I couldn't care less, because if there's something that you hear about and you couldn't care less about it, that means that it's like the bottom of the like care chart. There are things above it that you care way more about. But if you could care less, that means there's something below it that you care even less about. So it's not actually something that you don't care about at all. The whole meaning of the thing is that you don't care. So if you could care less, you care a little bit. Like, I could care less about America's Next Top Model, because I do kind of like it. I could care less about it. But things like Miley Cyrus, I couldn't care less about Miley Cyrus. Justin Bieber, I couldn't care less about Justin Bieber. That's how it works. That's something if you completely do not care about it, it's like not even on your radar as far as you're concerned. You couldn't care less, not could. That's my pet peeve, and I just wasted a minute talking about a pet peeve. Okay. Interesting fact. This is gonna take a while, so I actually might go to Itzel's question instead and say that the food that I do not like, no matter what it's in, I usually pull it out, or I like suffer through it if I can't avoid it, is carrots. I really don't like carrots. I'm a vegetarian who just doesn't like carrots. I don't really like green beans either, but sometimes if they're cooked well enough, they're okay. Like if they're in a casserole or something, then it's fine. Okay, interesting fact. This is gonna take a long time. This is like a loaded question. Tally's gonna regret this. So, I just made a list of all of the major obsessions that I've had in my life. The first major obsession I had was Jim Carrey, and that was in early years of elementary school. And then Matthew Broderick, then Gilda Radner and SNL, then Alan Cumming, the Broadway star who's like, I think he's Masterpiece Theatre guy now. He's from Scotland. He's handsome. The Beatles, which I still love, obviously. Monty Python, Christopher Guest and his movies, Conan O'Brien, The Monkees, The Who, Lord of the Rings, Flight of the Conchords, Ben Stiller, Rhett and Link. And then when I was obsessed with Lord of the Rings, after I was obsessed with that, I went back to The Monkees and The Who for a while, and then I went to Flight of the Conchords, then Ben Stiller, then Rhett and Link, and now I'm kind of getting back obsessed with Monty Python because I watched the Hollywood Bowl. Just because I went back and watched something, I'm now addicted. But yeah, these are the like major things that I have been obsessed with, most of which are actors. But the cool thing about my obsessions is that, like I've told Tara and other friends before, when I get obsessed with something, unless it's something really fleeting and stupid, like Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains, which I don't really care about him anymore. That was just a little fleeting 5th grade thing. But usually if it's something that I really like and I get really involved with and I find out all this information about, it stays with me and it becomes something lasting that I am interested in for the rest of my life. Like I said, the Beatles was my huge obsession in middle school and the first few years of high school. And this is just a small fraction of the things that I have. I have John Lennon's 3 books, and this is the original edition of this book, the one that he's kissing in Help. This is the actual, yeah, and this is like a new copy of this, and then this is his last book. So I have his 3 books. And then I have this, which I carried around with me like a Bible in middle school. I read this book cover to cover at least twice. I haven't read it since, but I kind of want to now, after Harry Potter. This is a really good book, and Itzel, if you really like him, you should read it if you haven't, and you should read his books too. And then I also have this, because it's cute. But this is a small fraction of the actual Beatles collection. I will be showing you my Beatles collection when I'm home for Christmas, probably, like at my parents' house, because my entire room is my Beatles collection. Posters, albums, pictures, newspaper clippings, you'll see. I was heavily addicted to the Beatles. I don't think I've ever been obsessed with something as much as I was obsessed with the Beatles, and I think it's fitting. But I also have, this is my Monty Python collection, not including the movies and some pictures and stuff. This is one of my favorite books, because Graham is my favorite. And then I also have the Michael Palin the first part of his diaries. This is really thick. This is as far as I got. I need to keep reading it after Harry Potter. And then I have this, which is cute. And then I have this, which is like unpublished until now scripts that Graham wrote. And then I have this, which is like the old classic book about everything. I hope I'm not going to get in trouble for copyright for showing these, but yeah. The funny thing about it, though, is my favorite Beatle obviously used to be John Lennon, and now it's George. And my favorite Monty Python guy was Eric Idle, and now it's Graham Chapman, although it became Graham Chapman pretty quickly. The main reason I liked Eric Idle so much is because we share a birthday. I was born on Eric Idle's 44th birthday, which is another interesting fact. But that's pretty much the interesting fact about me, is all of my, like, crazy... If I really, really, really like something, I become, like, avid freak, and I have major collections about it. So, yeah. All the other little things that I talk about sometimes don't really count as obsessions. And I kind of just learned that about myself. But anyway, I hope you have an awesome day, and it's actually 6 minutes now, but this was a lot. So I will see you tomorrow, Tara.